Welcome to episode 111 of the Inside Byte 111. I'm your host, Tim Schaefer. I'm here with my co-host, Rudy. How you doing this week?
I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm getting ready for what I got, like a week and a half left till school starts. I think they're running a little behind this year. Like usually by now, kids are figuring out who their teacher's going to be. And I know that's happened for us as well. Like there's kids who probably opened an envelope and it says my name, but they forgot a group of people, the teachers. Like we haven't received the other end of it, right? We haven't received who our students are yet, which is weird at this point when you have a week and a half to school. I need to figure things out and get things prepared.
Yeah.
So that's a little annoying because I don't know who.
Do you do the little name tags on the desk kind of deal?
Sometimes I'll usually do that, for start off the year like that. But also in terms of like creating I use this app called Class Dojo. It's like where all the kids have their own little like avatar and they gain points and lose points.
Oh, cool.
Throughout the year. So I got to make that. I got to make like a Google Classroom. There's like a lot of things that you do before day one,
Yeah, I'm thinking like for the most part, you could placehold it kind of thing and just put in like, numbers and everything and just get everything done outside of that.
That's what I might do. That's what I might have to do. And then also the other thing is actually physically going into the classroom and setting things up. They're like behind on cleaning the building or something and all this nonsense. So it's like kind of weird this year. I don't know. But yeah, man, I've been thinking about that. Aside from that, just doing some gaming here and there, just enjoying the last few weeks of summer,
Gotcha. Well, I've somehow got sucked into this Baldur Gate 3 and I didn't know. I didn't know because I tried, like Divinity Original Sin 2. Like, I think it's a good game. I think it's great. I just, we talked about it a million times. It's just hard to play and get into.
Yeah, no, the way that people are talking about this game, it definitely has my interest. I'm just trying to think, like, Rudy, you haven't even finished Zelda or Final Fantasy yet, so there's no need right now, But I do have some questions as someone who, I know you were similar to me in the sense that maybe Divinity didn't grab you as much as it should have because it was like overwhelming and maybe a lot. So I want to see your opinion on some of these things.
Let's say like whether you're going to go play it tomorrow. Let's just pretend, okay, you were going to go pick it up tomorrow and just like in your Rudy otherwise, and you're just like, hey, I'm about to play this and I have all of these questions and wondering about this and that. And let's say you already beat Final Fantasy 16 and Zelda and you needed something else to play. Let's just put you in that pocket. And I'm curious to be like, what are your concerns? What are your questions when it comes to this game on if you would want to play it or not,
Sure. Okay. So I guess the first one is, do you feel that when you have a session of Baldur's Gate 3, when you are done playing it, let's say an hour or 2 hours later, do you feel always that you've actually progressed? Because that was my problem with Divinity. There were times where I played for an hour and I feel like I did nothing because everything's so complex and I don't know which way to go. And yeah, that's kind of how I felt sometimes with that game. Like I wasn't making progress.
Yep. And same here. So this is going to sound really weird, and I just thought of this, okay? This is like the Zelda series when it hit Breath of the Wild. Of like, it's so good at what it does, it just changes anything prior or of any misconception you may have in the past or just how it's executed or anything. Like open world games before Breath of the Wild and how they are after Breath of the Wild is such a gigantic difference.
Sure.
I feel this is what happened with this genre. So I'm saying that to say, even if I play 30 minutes, I got a really good interaction with the character or two. I may have found a really cool like tool that I can use. Like, perfect example, I played 20 minutes of it yesterday. I just had a small pocket and I wanted to go in there because I couldn't figure out how to, I'm seeing these piles of sand and trying to like dig through it or whatever. And I was like, man, I really just want to figure that out. So I boot up the game and look around for a while and it hit me of like, oh, I remember there being a shovel somewhere. So I spent like 20 minutes looking around the area trying to remember where I saw that shovel, did eventually find it, and then went and dug, ended up figuring out, oh, I can go in this little secret, I don't want to say too much, but And then I was like, cool. And then I just saved and quit. And now when I get back into it, I'm about to discover this cool secret I found because I used this shovel on this pile of dirt that I was wondering about, right?
Very cool.
So it's like, let's say a story moment happens, right? It could be like 10-minute little interaction. They're actually really quick. The writing is so good in this game that like it's weird. They'll only be talking for like 30 seconds, maybe a minute and a half tops on a particular scene, and then it's over with and you move on. But what was said was so pivotal because it was just I guess so well written and so well done to where like it doesn't feel drawn out whatsoever. Like it doesn't feel like I'm sitting at. I've never once seen a moment to where it was 5 or like I was about to say 10, but I can't even think of a 5-minute scene that took place outside of like the beginning cinematic or something. It's pretty smooth and quick of like they talk for a bit, you go, you talk for a bit, something big happens, and then you're playing right there in the moment of the big thing happening. You're not like sitting there waiting for, a few minutes before you get control again. That doesn't really happen with this game.
I see.
So it moves so briskly and quick, and there's always so much to do, even in a little window. You feel like you accomplished something, even if you haven't played it for that long. Yeah, because you might just have a really good interaction with this, like, villager, or like you find an NPC that can join your party, and it was just a really cool story moment there. But they never really drag. Or in Divinity Original Sin 2, I can remember like big moments that I thought were pretty cool, but you're talking like what, an hour or two before I saw the next cool thing. This is like I'm seeing cool stuff the entire time. It's so well made. It's so mind-boggling. So yeah.
Okay. And I'm actually really glad to hear that, because that was one big drawback that I had with the game, just feeling worried that would be the same case. How about the battling? How do you feel? I know it's still turn-based, which I'm okay with, but I guess, do you feel that battles are more manageable? Do you feel it's the same? What do you think about
I play with a controller. Combat? I don't play with a mouse and keyboard. One, because I just like having a bigger UI and interface. I always get so bothered by tiny text and it drives me crazy. I also am not a big like PC RPG guy to where like I'm clicking stuff with a mouse of where I want to go and all that. I like to be in actual direct control of my character, right? So I'm playing with a controller. I'm saying that to say, at least on the controller side of things, the combat's been really fun. Like, okay, good. It doesn't feel, it kind of plays like XCOM, to be honest. That's the best way I could put it. If you ever played XCOM, I don't know. Yep. It feels like tactics RPG. It'll show like your percentage of like if you're gonna actually hit or not. When you go to attack, you bring up a little menu and it's like a radial, and then there'll be like 2 or 3 of them of like, here's skills, here's the next row of skills, the next thing of skills, little circles of them, and you just move between the 4 options there, and there's like, you use the joystick to select the skill.
Okay.
The options way more fleshed out in terms of like, in Divinity Original Sin 2, you can use the environment. There's stuff in the very beginning, I'm sure you remember, of like exploding a barrel or fire or stuff like that. But it's far more here to where, again, it's almost Zelda-y, to where like you can put a weapon in the ground and pop it up to do environmental stuff. I can like remove water or add water to a particular location because I'm a druid that can control water or something like that. That's awesome. And I can mess with the environment that way. Because of that, there's I can like jump to a higher ground and then shoot a bow and arrow at a person, and because I have the high ground, I'll do more damage. There's a lot of really fun options when it comes to combat of like how to take people down, and everything looks a lot more like just better UI. I don't know if you're gonna play with mouse and keyboard, but like the UI with the controller, it's been really, really enjoyable, especially in the combat. I went back to trying with the mouse and keyboard. It wasn't nearly as fun to me.
Oh, you didn't like it as much? I always feel like I would like it more, but I haven't tried with a controller, to be fair.
Combat is really fun. I don't know. I don't Divinity Original Sin 2, you'd be in a combat scenario, seems like 45 minutes and then die at the end and have to redo it all.
I hated that. I hated
drove
that
me
so much.
insane. These battles were definitely quicker. I've put more time into this than I ever did in Divinity Original Sin 2. So,
Okay, good,
at
good.
least of what I played, like, I'm sure there's going to be some epic fight, right? That's going to take a while.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, every battle, and it took forever in Divinity. I remember that being a big turnoff for me. And
Yeah.
this actually feels like there's a whole lot of creativity in what you can do in the combat. And again, feeling very Zelda-y of like just the amount of options you wouldn't think about when it comes to physics and stuff. So really cool.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
definitely glad to hear that's definitely something on my radar for I think I'll like it more than Divinity probably. So, all right, great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I wanted to get into a few points about this game though. And I was just curious of your questions, but I did want to hit some other stuff. So when it comes to Baldur's Gate 3, I don't know who's aware of what, so I just wanted to give a little backstory because I think it's incredibly cool of a story. Is Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, they were made by Bioware. And this is like Mass Effect and like Star Wars, Knights of the Republic, all these things. You know, you have like, you'll make choices and you'll have like dark side and a light side. But the cool thing about Baldur's Gate 2 is there was lot more of the grays there.
Hmm.
It wasn't insane, but like it wasn't just good or bad. It wasn't just Paragon and
Okay.
what was the other in Mass Effect? No, I can't remember.
Renegade.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
You just work towards one or the other. There's a bit more like branch off in different end scenes, and then that when it comes to so with Baldur's Gate 3, all of that. You know what? It's this makes Detroit Become Human look sad. Is like anytime I talk to a person, I feel they're giving me insanely good options to choose between and really hitting anything and everything in between of like not just an obvious good and not just an obvious bad. They'll have those, but they'll have a lot of stuff in between. Or like let's
I
say
like
I'm
that.
like have a lot of charisma, right? Well, I'll have specific option to that being like I could use my charm to get through, right? And maybe get something I want that isn't even necessarily good or bad. Maybe they just have an item that I want. I could do the good thing and I could just let them have it and continue. I could do the bad thing and like kill them and take it. Or I have like two or three in between options. You know what I mean? Of like maybe I
Yeah, of
want to
course.
take it. Maybe I want to recruit them. There's all of these other layers in between. It's not just good or bad. So that's
Right.
what's making this game incredibly enjoyable. But anyway, so I say all this because where BioWare, like it's funny that Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were made by them and BioWare ended up being one of the biggest in the business and eventually crumbled and a lot of people just left and all that. But Larian kept asking them, hey, can we do a Baldur's Gate 3? And they got denied by the people who own the IP saying like, you're just not ready, all of that. So then that's when they
Right.
went and made Divinity Original Sin 1 and then did a
Right.
sequel. And then after that game, they eventually let them make Baldur's Gate 3. So they spent over 20 years trying
So
to
crazy.
prove that they could be the studio to make it. And then after all of that time, actually got allowed to do so. Like they achieved their dream.
That's
And
awesome.
I just think that's a really, really neat story. And why I bring up all of those options when it comes to dialogue is like Larian's doing with this IP what BioWare never could on
Right.
how incredible the amount of like interactions and dialogue is. It's far better than like even Mass Effect when it comes to not it. Don't think of this game as like a top-down computer RPG. You can zoom in as far as you want. You can turn the camera 360 as much as you want. So if you want to play it like a third-person game, like anything else, you can put the camera right there and play it that way if you want. So so when you're having all these epic discussions and all of that, the graphics are incredible. I mean,
It
look,
looks really good.
yeah, especially really like zoomed in close up on the characters. I'm shocked at how good the motion capture is and just the way facial interactions. Like, I mean, it's better than like playing LA Noir to where like you could tell people are lying or not in that game. Like this looks better than that. And you can really tell the little twitches in the face or like lying or like if they are trying to pretend they're good, but they got a little secretly bad in them, and you can just kind of tell the undertoning and the way they shift their eyes and stuff. But I felt when you go back and look at Elo Noir, it's kind of overly obvious the way they act. But in this, it genuinely feels like this is the best facial capture I've seen in a video game, like for sure. And so it really helps with a game style like this because you're really trying to question people's like motives, and it's a really big part in this game. So I'm loving that aspect of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. This game it's such a weird case. It's like everything looks phenomenal. It's like one of the best games of the year or years, and yet I'm like, I can't right now.
Well, I think you should finish what you're trying to finish.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm gonna support that.
Even Blasphemous 2 is coming out tomorrow, and I want to play it so bad. I'm like,
I don't know what that is.
You know, Blasphemous, the game that had, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a Souls-like 2D game.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. And part 2 is coming out.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That did look incredibly good.
Great.
I never played it, but you were mentioning it
so much fun, man.
a few episodes ago, and I looked it up, and I really wanted to play it.
Really good game, man. Definitely a good Dark Souls inspired game, but they did their own thing, really pulled it off, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah.
Oh, another big thing is failure can sometimes give like the greatest success in the end of, let's say you got to talk to this person. Think it's like Disco Elysium, right? You're talking to somebody, you're getting a dice roll to see how it's gonna go, right? Let's say, and then let's say you roll bad, right? Well, you should keep going because even though something bad happened in the moment, I've seen so many times be like, holy crap, I ended up getting a way better reward in the end than if I would have actually passed that in the beginning of this sort of little like string here. But it's hard to really know because there's a string every like, I don't know, minute or two along this journey, right? But I still end up finding myself in really cool situations, even if I was really bothered. Like, man, 10 minutes ago, like, I really should have like reloaded or saved scum there or something because like, but I'm trying so bad not to do that.
Sure,
right?
I understand.
But now I've played enough of the game to where I'm not thinking that anymore because I keep finding myself in cool situations anyway. And I'm like starting to be like really happy that that's happening instead of just feeling regret the whole game, you know?
Right.
That's been really, really neat. Each person in your party can be selected and initiate a conversation with an NPC. And it can go very differently depending on who initiates the conversation, right? So let's say I know someone that's a little more charming, or let's say someone in my party's a vampire and there's vampires around. Well, I'm going to switch to him and have him talk to him. Right?
Of course, yep.
So there's all of that aspect to it all, which is really neat. There's this controversy going on with the game about the game just being too good. So there's a lot of developers, I don't know if you've seen any of this, be like, guys, this shouldn't be the standard or the norm because this is way out of the reach of what normal people can achieve. And, you know, you should buy our less made game because we're trying really hard, but we can't be as good as these other people. It's like, it just is coming off incredibly weird, and it's big names saying this too. They're just kind of in a way too good of a scenario to where, well, they got an incredibly good IP, right? If we had the IP, we could do that. And it's like, come on, guys. First of all, no, you couldn't. Second of all, what's stopping you from doing that with any... It has nothing to do with the IP. It could be about aliens and space stuff, you know, and it'd be the same game. But there's just a lot of talk on all of that, and I just wanted to bring that up as well, that I just find it hilarious that people are not letting, almost like they're scared because this game's too good. It's just so weird. I've never seen this with any other game. Normally, if a game is amazing, you should just strive to, wow, this is a cool goal to hit. Even if I don't hit it, I'm still going to at least attempt or something. Or like, if you don't have the money or power or anything like that, make something different. Don't try to make the same thing then. I don't know. There's a lot of just ways that I'm just confused of why I'm seeing this so much. So I want to bring that up. And then just to say... last is a really funny scenario here because this game is releasing on PlayStation 5 on September 6th, which is the exact same day Starfield's releasing on
That
Xbox, so
is
there is
so
going to be a
interesting.
very PlayStation Xbox battle here of these games. Now the weird thing is, or I guess sad thing is like I was way more hyped for Starfield than this game, and I still actually am. I'm still just like I still feel more at my speed of a game because I'm more into science fiction and space and traveling the galaxy and seeing all these different planets and all these, like in Bethesda style and all of that. It's really, really interesting. But now that I've played so much Baldur's Gate 3, I'm like, man, I doubt it can be as good as this. This feels so incredibly good that I'm like, I feel really bad for Starfield because, like, I don't know. It's
Oh, I have a
yeah.
question for you. If you download Game Pass, you get a subscription for a month, you play Starfield, and then eventually your subscription lapses, and then you buy it. It's not going to continue your progress, is it? If you
Yeah,
buy it on
well,
Steam or
it's just
something.
your account. It isn't. Oh, if you bought it on
But
Steam, no,
if I bought it
because
on
yeah,
Steam,
you're
yeah.
not using your Xbox account anymore.
I just
See,
wondered if they would have like a
I would use my
Xbox Live sign in or something. Not,
yeah,
not Xbox
yeah,
Live,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
know what I mean.
Because I'm playing it on PC, but I'm using the Windows version to
Gotcha.
communicate with my Xbox and going back and forth there. I'm not gonna play it on Steam. If I did, then my save wouldn't be able to transfer like that. But hey, we don't actually know because there are
Yeah.
games that did allow it. Like Halo allows me to do that, so it's a possibility. So I,
Yep. Yep.
but I must say no. I mean, there's very few games that let you move between Steam. But yeah, I am pumped for Starfield.
It looks
I
great.
still am. This may turn out to be the best in this sort of like space exploration that we've ever gotten, It's exciting to I don't know, think about the possibilities. I don't know if it could live up to every dream that we could all have and all of that, but I think it's going to be good. I think it actually
I'm,
is going to be a solid title. It kind of has to be because so much is right on the line of it.
sure. No, I'm definitely excited by the idea of this game. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah,
All
that's
right.
all I want to go with Baldur's Gate 3. 12 hours in, I think in my head, it's just already like, yeah, this is one of the best RPGs I can already tell, like, I've
Yeah.
ever seen played. It's just hits the high mark on every possible category that this game could do. It's really, really fun and incredibly well told story. And it did. I guess one last thing I want to say is like each interaction in each area feels just as good as the last. It just like it doesn't feel like there's any like in between spots or any filler or any like just walking for like 5 hours and not too much
Well, that's good.
happening. Everything has just been incredibly enjoyable, and it really feels like they've just spent years making. It's almost like they took every hour and thought it all through from beginning to end and how
Yeah.
this hour would play out. And it doesn't feel any boring or any just middling of not much happening in this section.
Well, last note before we move on, I do think it's interesting that Baldur's Gate 3 has a 97 on Metacritic, which I think is totally valid. I've never had a problem with that. But Zelda has a 96 if people say it's only because it's Zelda. It's like they can't keep the same
Well,
kind of energy.
I think that's now. I think they're both
Has it
96. Yep,
changed?
they're both 96.
Both 96.
Yeah.
But even so, the point is like any Nintendo game that's rated that high, they say it's BS.
I
But another
know.
game rated that high, it's
Very
like totally
eye
earned it,
rolly. Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
so silly.
I believe in these Metacritic scores like this in terms of both games are some of the best things we've ever seen in the gaming world. Like I truly believe that.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
All right.
all right.
Anyway,
Into the news here. Rolling off of Starfield, there's a few Starfield things here. So, one, the big Game Pass upcoming games. We got 3 here. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? Came out the 18th. That's on Game Pass. We got the Sea of Stars coming out the 29th of this month. So, in about a week. And
I'm so
then
behind.
we got Starfield coming out September 6th. So we got those 3. And Starfield has gone gold. Bethesda also revealed when players can preload the digital version of the game. And Xbox players can do so August 17th. So as of right now, you can go ahead and preload on your Xbox. and Steam players will get their turn on August 30th. Now, what does that mean for PC? I'm guessing Xbox is the platform, and then like
Right.
whether it's PC or Xbox, it's just under that umbrella of like the Xbox app. So I can probably preload it now on my PC. So I'm gonna
I
get
think
around to
so.
do that. Yeah. And then Steam, you can do so August 30th. And again, the game comes out the 6th. You can buy to play the game early, but yeah, I can wait. I got things to play.
Yeah, same here.
One last thing about the Starfield thing, but it goes a little bigger to Xbox as a whole, is Microsoft reveals Xbox Series X console wraps, starting with the special Starfield edition. So you've seen the photos here. They have a Starfield wrap, and then they also have these camouflage ones, which, first of all, controllers, accessories, whatever. Why is camouflage still keep nobody? Does anyone? I never see camouflage anywhere of any of like clothing, shoes, accessories. I mean, is this a thing you're seeing? Because I don't know who.
Not
No
much.
one ever
Not much
buys
anymore.
camo nowadays, right?
Only like, oh, sorry to offend anyone, but only like redneck guys, maybe. That's about it. I don't really see it much these
Yeah,
days.
but the colors here that wouldn't even appeal to them. So I don't know.
That's true. They'll need something a little like more brown or green, maybe, or I don't
Yeah.
know.
These wraps work similar to PlayStation 5's console covers, allowing players to change the console's cosmetic look without buying an entirely new one. So they're just getting at the point of, hey, PS5, you can pop off the wings, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them wings. And you can just pop on a new one so your console can look a little different. So Xbox is like trying to come up with their own way. So it's like, well, we could wrap the console and make it these cool little wraps for it. That way you don't have to buy a whole new console just for it to look different. The company has revealed that 3 wraps to kick the product off, including a special edition Starfield wrap, which again, the other 2 are the camo ones. Xbox says this wrap has a soft, smooth, white, high-tech feel with painted on tactile graphics on the inside of the wrap. You'll find a fabric that has a soft precision sheen with a silicone gravity wave print for clean and stability. The Starfield wrap launches in the US, Canada, and Europe on October 18th. It will cost $50. And Xbox blog reads, key internal console components are highlighted through outline access panels and game-inspired graphics. Technical callouts detail actual console functionality with an in-game twist. That I'm curious of what they're getting at there. Like the game's gonna know you have the skin on the system and you
Yeah,
can do
how
things with
that's
the skin.
interesting.
I'm very curious about that. But yeah, that's about it.
Console
Got
functionality would be
some
interesting. All right.
wraps for a system. So, well, I guess I'm just happy PlayStation and Xbox that we're now in this world to where like we can just make our consoles look different pretty easily.
Yeah.
So
Always,
that's neat.
that never will hurt anyone. It'll just make people happy. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, Gamescom happened, and you can get into all this. I don't know if you watched any of it or saw any.
I caught little bits, pieces of it,
Yeah,
but it
same
sounds like it
here.
was, nothing crazy really.
Yeah.
But okay, first up, Marvel Snap on Steam exits early access today. During today's Gamescom opening night live showcase, developer Second Dinner Studios Ben Brode announced that Marvel Snap has exited Steam early access and is officially out now on PC. To celebrate, players who log into the PC version of Marvel Snap will receive a Devil Dinosaur mech variant. Additionally, players who watch the Marvel Snap category on Twitch will be eligible for drops starting today and running until August 29th. All right, whatever. I know people like that game, but it is what it is. It's on Steam. Very cool. You play this game at all or not?
No, yeah, I actually really love it. It's phenomenal, like card game. I just like put it down just because I'm trying to play a lot of other things. But if I was like positions to where like I just needed something to play on my phone and had a lot of like little in between times, this would be a really good one to do. But
Yep. I've heard great
I'm just
things
not
about it.
currently living in that reality to where I'm like whipping out my phone and playing something on there sort of in between spaces. But I have been in situations like that in the past, and it'd be good in those deals. But
gotcha. Okay.
yeah,
very cool.
You can just sort of keep going.
Yeah, I'll keep going. Next up, Tekken 8 will be released on January 26, 2024. Alongside the release date, a new single-player mode was announced called Arcade Quest. Players can design their own avatars, which look like Xbox avatars, and take part in tournaments. I'm sure people. Why does it feel to me like Tekken 7 didn't come out that long ago? Like I feel like
I
how
feel
long ago?
like that, but then when I go and
So
look it
long.
up, it's a long time. You're talking
Oh
7, 8
wow.
years.
Oh wow. Okay. I don't know why it felt like it wasn't that long ago. It was 8 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Crazy. Okay, that makes sense then. All right.
This trailer showed a lot of cosmetic stuff outside of just like your avatars, and you do this little hub thing, almost like Street Fighter 6. The hub with avatars and all that. Well, and this game, like even the fighters, it looks like they're really just trying to money grab here. The amount I can just tell, like they're like, dude, people are gonna buy this skin, this skin, this skin, and all these crazy hats, all these crazy things you can like, I don't know, make the character hold or throw, or and there it's all like cosmetic stuff on top of. Each character seems to have 3 different things that you could change within them of something that you could buy to make this look different or this behave differently. And oh god, I don't know. All that stuff obviously turns me off, but all of that aside, this game looks phenomenal, and I would, it's been so long since I've cared or played about Tekken. I'm talking PS1 days is the last I
Sure.
played. Between the Street Fighter and the Tekken and the Mortal Kombat, I think I'm still leaning on Mortal Kombat, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know. This Tekken 8 does look
Sounds like
pretty cool. I can't it's so hard. I mean, it's great we're in this position, but it's so hard to like pick the fighter nowadays.
Yep. Yep. Well, speaking of cool, something I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 77 getting
Oh, you
big.
missed.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is also cool, by the way. Black Myth Wukong gets new gameplay trailer showcasing its action RPG combat, releasing the summer of next year. On PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This game I've been interested in for a long time. I'm gonna go ahead and save this video to watch
Yeah,
later.
what's new here is looking really phenomenal. It's looking very Sekiro and Neo like, I guess is the best way I
Awesome.
could describe.
I've had my eye on that game for a long time, so yeah,
Yep.
definitely and check that one out. And now, as I meant to say before, Cyberpunk 2077 getting big 2.0 overhaul with Phantom Liberty expansion. CD Projekt Red shared a new trailer and took to the stage to share what is coming to Cyberpunk 2077 with its 2.0 update and Phantom Liberty expansion. Phantom Liberty is a paid expansion that will include all kinds of new story content and Idris Elba, but even if you don't buy into the expansion, the game will receive all kinds of improvements. The footage from the game showed protagonist V launching herself from a motorcycle to slam into a group of enemies. New weapons like guns and blade will be added, and perks have been redesigned. There are also all kinds of new animations in the combat. We also saw V throwing an enemy at another in combat and dashing in midair. The police have also been revamped and will call in Max Tac to fight you. You can hack while driving, and new vehicles will have built-in guns for expanded car combat. The 2.0 update releases September 26th, and the paid Phantom Liberty expansion will also be available that day. So, man, this has me so excited. Not only are we getting a new expansion, but I feel if you haven't played Cyberpunk yet and now you play it, man, you're gonna get like an amazing experience, at this point.
So I don't remember what I said on the show prior or not. I think I've mentioned this, but I never actually completed it. I got really far
Mm-hmm.
and I put it down just because I wanted to wait. I was like, well, give it a few months, get things polished
Sure.
up, whatever. I'll finish it out. And I still have yet to go back. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. When this releases, this will be my push. Now
Yeah.
that 2.0 is out, and I was watching that trailer, what got me excited is seeing the way the perks are laid out now and how the skill tree looks. Dude, it's reworked
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
Yeah, it's so
I
awesome.
love the way that tree looked there. So anyway,
I'm gonna reinstall Cyberpunk right now, just out of excitement, just to have it ready.
see, that's the thing is like I played around for it a bit a few months ago because what I was doing is I wanted to see it in VR. Not meaning like it supports VR, but like you can like, make a game insanely huge and curved in VR, right? So even though you're looking left to right, you're still seeing a lot of the world or whatever. And so I played that for a bit, and it was really, really cool experience because that game is such incredible attention to detail. So when you're actually
Mm-hmm.
being able to see that giant of a screen and that close up to detail of everything, it was really, really cool. Now that I have all these new specs, it'd be a lot better than playing on my PS5. But I'm just, I don't like playing where I work a lot of times.
I get it.
And
I get
I
it.
always like want to go play in my living room on the couch. So I'm gonna have a really hard time, but and I already have it on my PS5. I just got to re-download it. It's like, do I play there? Do I play on my PC? And I don't know, but it's gonna look so much better on my PC. And I was just like,
Yeah, that's a tough one.
yeah, I just love the controller chilling on the couch though.
I get it.
Especially, yeah, yeah.
You have to make a tough decision there, but man, I am super, super excited for this. So can't wait. Next up, we got Hyper Light Breaker early access launch delayed to 2024. It was set to launch in Steam early access later this year, but the team needs more time to bring it together. As such, the game will now launch early next year. A developer video simply informs fans of the team's desire to spend more time with Hyper Light Breaker with creative director Alex Preston stating in a press release. We've made remarkable progress and the game has come a long way since we started development. Taking this additional time to focus on Hyper Light Breaker's development will allow us to bring the game to its full potential, and we are incredibly grateful for the support from our community that's been with us every step of the way. We thank you for our patience and understanding as we work to deliver a new adventure that lives up to what fans expect from a Heart Machine title. Hyper Light Breaker is a spiritual follow-up to Hyper Light Drifter, set within the same universe but imagined in 3D graphics. The third-person action game can now be played alone or with friends in a 3-player online co-op. Players roam the large, colorful world, discovering new areas, battling monsters in flashy combat, and obtaining powerful gear in a quest to overthrow a powerful king. This game looks pretty cool. I know people are pumped, especially people that like Hyper Light Drifter. So
Yeah, I wasn't like a huge champion of that game or anything. It was cool, but like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to call it overhyped either, because it was good. I get why you'd be a fan, but this game, it does look incredible. Like I was just watching this, and it looks like Risk of Rain 2, but even better, to be honest. Just
it looks really cool.
Like really cool enemies. Looks even a little faster than Risk of Rain. A little cooler weapons, and it looks like Risk of Rain 3. I guess is what I would call it. But yeah, after seeing this, like, I'm interested because I kind of wasn't, but we haven't seen it in so long. But this looks like such a big improvement of when we saw it last. And I'm pretty hyped. I was quite impressed by what they showed today.
Agreed. I think it looks really cool. So yeah, I sorry, I got distracted because the next thing has me super excited. So so Little Nightmares 3 reveal trailer. Man, in a million years, I never would have guessed this game was coming out. And I'm gonna pull up actually when Little Nightmares 2, I think it was like when it came out and people really enjoyed it. I remember someone saying we're taking a break or something, you know?
When did 2 come out? 2019?
I don't remember.
Or was it newer than... No, 2 came out very recently. I'm confused.
Came out a few years ago, I would say. I was trying to look up where Bandai Namco had said, like...
2021.
Break from Little Nightmares. Oh, okay. Tarsier Studios officially done with Little Nightmares. Bandai Namco still considering continuing. Okay, so I guess it was always a possibility. But yeah, it says Supermassive in the new trailer, which are the guys that made Until Dawn, which I thought was interesting.
Yes.
So this has me super pumped. If you have not played Little Nightmares 1, the DLC for 1, and Little Nightmares 2, you could finish the whole thing in a day or two, probably. If you really wanted to, you could finish both of those games. And they are so good.
Yeah, what are they, like 3 hours?
2. I want to say, here, I want to be accurate here. Let's see. I want to be Little Nightmares first, right? Little Nightmares, 3.5 hours main story, main plus side 5, right? So
okay.
let's say 4 or so. And then the additional content, the DLC, another 3, right? So we're talking about like 7 there. And then Little Nightmares 2, I want to say was a little longer. Let's see. Yeah, Little Nightmares 2, 5.5. So we're talking about like 13 hours of your time, probably, total. And man, let me tell you, Little Nightmares 1 I thought was good, but a lot of the story stuff was sort of interpretive, like what you think about it. Yeah, you could draw some conclusions. The DLC was really cool. It ties together with the main game in a really cool way. And then Little Nightmares 2 just takes it to a way new level. And they do some crazy twists and turns. It's so cool. It's a really great game. So I'm super pumped by this. I did not expect this at all, and I think this is awesome. So yeah, I'm very excited about this.
Okay.
Did not see it coming. I've always been a huge champion for Little Nightmares 2. I feel like so many people didn't play it, and it's really, really good game.
I mean, even me, I played like an hour, thought it was awesome, never finished it, and I need to.
Man, the story gets so crazy, man. It takes some wild twists and turns. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it wasn't grabbing me right in the beginning. It was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
So
it's the visuals in the game and like it's so grotesque and just scary looking and stuff. It's cool.
Yep. All right. Atari announces a modernized 2600 console. I just pulled this from Marcus Stewart over at Game Informer. Before the 1983 video game crash and Nintendo's subsequent takeover of the industry with the NES, the Atari 2600 reigned supreme. The popular console, pretty much the poster child for the late 70s, early 80s gaming, boasting a vast library of titles that have since inspired a multitude of games for decades to come. Over 30 years after the 2600 was discontinued, it's making a comeback. Atari and PlayOn have announced the 2600 Plus, a modernized recreation of the 4-switch model introduced in 1980. In addition to sharing the same wood grain aesthetic and metal switches, it also includes modern features such as HDMI output, USB port, and support for multiple screen resolutions. The console comes with a new CX40 Plus joystick, faithful to the original, and supports 2 players. The 2600 includes a single cartridge slot and can play original 2600 and 7800 cartridges, including physical versions of newly released titles such as Mr. Run and Jump and Berserker Enhanced Edition. Which again, that Mr. Run and Jump, that's that game that
you told me about that,
them to make that new one that I totally forgot and need to immediately play because that looked amazing. Anyway, additionally, the console comes bundled with a 10-in-1 cartridge with the following games: Adventure, Combat, Dodge 'em, Haunted House, Maze Craze, Missile Command, Real Sports Volleyball, Surround, Video Pinball, and Yar's Revenge. We're excited to be working with Atari to bring back the Atari 600 and help meet the growing customer demand for retro hardware. For gamers who remember the thrill of playing arcade games at home for the very first time, the Atari 600 Plus will bring you right back. For everyone else, the offer is one of the timeless fun and the chance to experience a golden age of video games in a way that could only come from Atari. The Atari 2600 Plus launches on November 17th for $129.99. You can pre-order now on Atari's website. The CX40 joysticks will also be sold separately for $24.99. Atari and PlayOn will also plan to launch the CX30 paddle controller bundle that includes the paddle and a 4-in-1 game cartridge for $39.99. Now, this doesn't interest me at all. Atari games suck ass, but I will shout out that Atari collection, 50th anniversary, I want to say. Incredible collection, incredible history piece. There's a lot of really fun stuff in that because they do a lot of almost like NES remix and stuff like that with some of the things, or put brand new stuff that was released later on it, stuff like that. And I really enjoyed that collection, and it's just so well presented. Of like, you get a lot of video documentaries about this and that, and from all of these people that grew on to do like amazing things for the industry. So that piece of software, like, I recommend to anybody of just like, whether you care about Atari or not, it's just a really important piece of history to have. And so that is a huge win. But me spending $130, I already bought a little Atari plug and play thing from a while ago. I'm sure this is obviously a little better quality or something like that, but it's not like it's Atari games. Like, what that thing can do and what the thing that I could buy here do is going to be the exact same experience in terms of how the visuals look, because again, they're just like dots. I don't know. It's like mono sound and dots, you know. It's nothing to be doesn't matter what the hell you're playing that thing on. So, and the thing I bought is like over 100 games or whatever, and I've touched it like 3 times, and it's like, you know, and I bought it for what, like $15 at a yard sale or something. So
yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. Well, I'm curious to see what the demand is for this kind of thing, you know? Like, do people, I don't know.
But I could imagine you being a kid growing up with this and being completely amazed by it at the time, and just buying it as just like a piece that you just loved as a child that you would just want to own again. I could see that, but that's like literally the only market. And I don't like look at those people negatively or anything. Like, it's just, sorry, I got really lucky and I grew up with the NES instead. So
Yep, same here. Oh man, all right. Well, that should be interesting. Okay, next up, we got Microsoft proposes a new deal with Ubisoft handling Activision Blizzard streaming rights in UK to CMA. So Microsoft has submitted a new deal to UK's Competition and Markets Authority, a regulatory agency that proposes Ubisoft get the rights to Activision Blizzard game streaming for 15 years. After the CMA blocked Microsoft proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard for a colossal $69 billion back in April over cloud gaming concerns, That still baffles me. Microsoft set its sights on the U.S. Federal Trade Commission for approval. In July, a California judge denied the FTC's request for a preliminary injunction in its case to block Microsoft's proposed acquisition. Shortly after that decision, Microsoft announced it was pausing its appeal efforts in the UK to negotiate with the CMA. The CMA extended the company's deadline to do so August 29th, 2023. Today, the CMA confirmed it is blocking Microsoft's original proposed deal. However, Microsoft also offered a new deal today following the block that would transfer streaming rights of Activision Blizzard games on PC and console to Ubisoft for 15 years in perpetuity. As a result of the agreement with Ubisoft, Microsoft believes its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard presents a substantially different transaction under UK law than the transaction Microsoft submitted for the CMA's consideration in 2022. A Microsoft blog post reads. As such, Microsoft today has notified the restructured transaction to the CMA and anticipates that the CMA review processes can be completed before the 90-day extension in its acquisition agreement with Activision Blizzard expires on October 18th. Microsoft says under this restructured transaction, it will not be able to release Activision Blizzard games exclusively on its own cloud streaming service, Xbox Cloud Gaming, or to exclusively control the licensing terms of the Activision Blizzard games for rival services. It says this deal will enable Ubisoft to innovate and encourage different business models in the licensing and pricing of these games on cloud streaming services worldwide, and that Ubisoft will compensate Microsoft for the cloud streaming rights to Activision Blizzard's games through a one-off payment and through a market-based wholesale pricing mechanism, including an option that supports pricing based on usage. This deal also allows Ubisoft to offer Activision Blizzard's games on cloud gaming services on non-Windows machines. The CMA has confirmed that this new deal was proposed to it, but notes it has yet to give it the green light. We will now consider this deal under new Phase 1 investigation, CMA Chief Executive Sarah Cardell writes in a press release, explaining that because of Microsoft's new proposal, the CMA will restart all proposal consideration for this as if it were a completely new offer. This is not a green light. We will carefully and objectively assess the details of the restructured deal and its impact on competition, including in light of third-party comments. Our goal has not changed. Any future decision on this new deal will ensure that the growing cloud gaming market continues to benefit from open and effective competition, driving innovation and choice. Well, that was a mouthful, but for me, what I take away from this is Microsoft is like, shoot, how can I change my homework so that it will pass through this time?
Well, this is specifically the UK. So the CMA in the UK is who blocked it. Everyone else is basically okay at this point.
Right, everyone's cool with it.
So they're like, well, what if we let Ubisoft technically handle the cloud? That way it's not just us. Because their whole concern was, oh, you guys are just going to dominate cloud services now and there's going to be no competition because y'all have all the best crap or something like that, which I don't agree. There's plenty of other companies that have incredible games and access to games, so I just think that's a dumb argument. But anyway, and Microsoft isn't preventing somebody else from making a cloud service. I don't know. I don't get that argument, but they were like, okay, well, fine, we'll give it to Ubisoft, and they can price things what they want. They can put their games on here. They can handle however they want to do, and that way it's not just us controlling, is basically what they threw back at them, which I guess is a good move. I wouldn't be giving it to Ubisoft, but maybe Ubisoft still has a lot more money than what we thought. I don't know, because in my opinion, Ubisoft's like kind of dying, or if not dead already in my head, but yeah, maybe they just have a lot in the bank than what we realize. I don't know, to be able to manage something like this.
They've definitely been losing relevancy. I feel like 5 years ago, Ubisoft was definitely a different category than it is now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they were big since like SNES, PS1 days, seeing the Ubisoft logo on all the things, and got gigantic PS2, 360, all that. But anyway, so, we'll see what happens. So they may approve it now that Ubisoft will be handling it. And let's say they still say no in the end. Microsoft just do everything else, but not in the UK. I get it's a big market, and it sucks that you would just have to like not do it there. But I don't know. If I was them, why would I even be? Ubisoft's just a weird pick there. They're clearly not good when it comes to managing things. So why would you want them to do this?
I'm so over this whole thing. I don't know, man. I don't even know honestly, I don't even know what to say about it. I just want it to be done and over with whatever happens. As I'm sure a lot of people are probably over talking about it. So
yeah.
I mean, maybe this will work. Maybe they'll be able to to get it through. So Today, an announcement on Xbox Wire revealed that the Xbox 360 store will be shutting down on July 29th, 2024. This means you will no longer be able to purchase games or DLC on the console, and the Microsoft Movies and TV app will stop working altogether. However, the post makes it clear that the content you bought beforehand will still be playable after the cutoff date, so digital games on the 360 should still work just fine, and you'll be able to re-download them. Games with online multiplayer features will also still be functional, though that exists on more of a game-by-game basis. For example, the servers of many Halo games have already been shut down. And while the Microsoft Movies and TV app will no longer work on the 360, your content there transfers to anywhere else you have the app. Additionally, backwards compatible 360 games will still be available to purchase and play on the Xbox One and Series X and S. This is pretty par for the course, right? I mean, this is a lot of the companies have been doing stuff like this. So,
well, compared to the previous, like Nintendo and PlayStation, I can't go on my PS5 and buy PS3 content. You see what I'm saying? Or the same on like Nintendo. I can't go and like purchase Wii U 3DS stuff. Well, Xbox, I can still go purchase 360 games on my Xbox Series X and S or Xbox One. They're still on the marketplace, just not on the 360 console store itself.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? But it's still able to access by the newer consoles the same content. So it's really not that big of a deal. It's very different than the other ones.
yeah, if anything, it's better. Like I guess I
Yeah.
was almost saying in a way where if someone tried to complain about this, I'd be like, there's no room for complaints about this. Totally fair. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you can do this next here.
all right. Finally, Alan Wake 2 is hit with a 10-day delay from October 17th to October 27th.
Just hit Halloween then.
Yeah, I see that, right? Why
I
not?
saw that. I was like, just
October.
hit Halloween.
Why not? October is an amazing month for game launches, and we hope this date shift gives more space for everyone to enjoy their favorite games. This likely refers to the fact that Alan Wake 2 was originally going to release just 3 days before the arrival of heavy hitters Marvel, Spider-Man 2, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which both launch on October 20th. The new date now puts it a full week outside the blast radius, providing some breathing room for players looking to enjoy some or all of those titles around launch. I like how Nintendo doesn't care at all. They're like, yeah, we're releasing our game that day. I don't care.
First of all, that's hilarious. That Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Spider-Man 2 were like competing. First of all, I'm getting both because I'm a dork. But
Oh, yeah, same.
second of all, I'm definitely more excited about Wonder. I mean, think about it. A 2D Mario game, a new one, that hasn't happened since DS with New Super Mario Bros. We have not gotten a new 2D Mario since then.
I can't wait. I'm super
This
pumped.
is really, really exciting for me. Like I'm super pumped. So it looks incredible on top of it. So yes.
Yep.
If Alan Wake 2 came out that same day as those two, I could totally see not wanting to release that day.
Yeah, I think they're making a smart choice, you know.
Yeah.
But like you said, why not do Halloween?
Why not
But
Halloween?
I don't know, that'd be perfect.
I know. So good of an opportunity. It's a spooky game on top of it.
I
Come on.
know. They dropped the ball, man.
Let's get into what we're watching, what we're playing.
Okay, I'm gonna add something right here. I'll start with Telltale Expanse episode 2. You know, I feel pretty similar to how I felt about episode 1. It was pretty fun to play. Nothing crazy. I'm a little surprised at how short they are, though. I gotta say, the first 2 episodes were each maybe an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, something like that, maybe.
It's pretty short. I was expecting like
Yeah.
3 hours. Yeah.
Definitely on the shorter end compared to like The Walking Dead back in the day or other Telltale games. But I will say the quality's there. It's good. I really enjoy it. I like the characters. I don't know anything about the Expanse, but they all talk with this accent, like they're they sound like they're like Hawaiian or like some like the Filipino or something. Like they have this interesting accent, and I don't know if that's part of the Expanse lore or what. I have no clue. But they're all in space.
I mean,
all
I've
talk
never.
to so I want to look more into
so
it.
I don't know.
Here, let me see. Maybe I can get an answer. I'm going to say, why does everyone have an accent in The Expanse? I don't know. Let's see. What?
Like Puerto Rican accent?
No. It's so hard to explain. I don't even know how to explain it. But this guy said they created the accent for a constructed language called Belter, used in the sci-fi television series The Expanse, set 200 years in the future. New language developed by linguist Nick Farmer. It mashes up 6 existing languages. Okay, so I guess that makes a little more sense.
They're trying to make it sound like 6 languages blending together.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess.
Okay. That's actually really cool.
Someone said, why do they speak Creole in Expanse? But
Huh.
I don't think they speak that. I think it just sounds similar to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, now I know. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty fun. I like it. I like that it's releasing every week or so. They're releasing a new episode. You know, it's been nice doing that. So yeah. But aside from that, Zelda, I haven't played much Zelda in the last week just because I've been really busy, and I did play Telltale. But Zelda is a game I'm going to be playing for a long time. I know that. and I'm fine with that. You know, it's just so much fun. I don't want to rush it. I could easily just, you know, push through the main story, but I don't want to do that with this game, you know.
No,
So
I've been very like, I don't know, I'll go a week or two without playing it. I'll go back and
yep,
I'll play like 4 hours in a night or something.
yep,
It's gonna be something I'll play for a very, very long time. I mean,
yeah, same here.
Breath of the Wild, I mean, I played that thing for years. So
Yep.
I don't know. I'm in no rush.
Yeah, same here. The only other thing I played that I didn't even put on here is I still have been keeping up with the Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy DLC releases.
Yeah.
Every so often I'll jump in, I'll play the new release. Still great, still a fantastic game. So much bang for your buck. I still haven't actually beat the whole game, but that's okay. I've just been playing the DLC, and then whenever I play the DLC, I'll just play a few songs and then keep it moving, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah, great game, man.
Best thing in the world happened to me. I more hyped on this than I am on Baldur's Gate 3. I really am. But it's just a more very personal, like, oh my god, mind blown kind of moment. Anyway, Bomber Cyberfunk. I mean, I was excited for this, but when I actually got my hands on it and started playing it, I didn't know it was gonna be this polished and good. Like I ended up after playing a few hours, I'm like, I'm curious what other people think about this. And somebody put on one of the reviews of like that it's basically Jet Set Radio 3. And that really is the feeling here. But Jet Set Radio came out, which is whatever. I'm not even that big of a fan of it. Jet Set Radio Future, one of my favorite games, right? It was just such a huge upgrade. But that soundtrack, I mean, I've said it a trillion times, but why I keep bringing up the soundtrack for that is, well, one, I've just been listening to it ever since. It's been like 20 years of this thing being in my playlist. But two, the game works around the music. Like, it's almost like a rhythm game in the way you sort of are doing the moves. You don't have to time it to the music, but because of the way it handles the visuals with the music, it just so complementary to the gameplay experience. And you kind of don't realize it till you play it, why music is so important. But I have an original Xbox. The only reason I bought it so I could play Jet Set Radio Future. I still have my original copy of it from whenever, like, I was, I don't know, 12 or 13 when I had an original Xbox. I just could not get rid of it. And it's one of the few things I have from that age, to be honest. I don't know where, like, you know, like an old Game Boy is or an old Pokemon game or something like that. But I damn sure held on that Jet Set Radio Future copy, which is hilarious. But
that's dope.
Anyway, so this releases, and I'm like, you know, expecting it to be good and have some fun, but I was so incredibly surprised on the polish and quality here. Look on the Steam reviews. It is, I want to say, overwhelmingly positive.
Oh, that's awesome.
This game so far exceeded my expectations. So the original, you know, you got like rollerblades. Now you have a bike. Now you have a skateboard. They feel incredible. The controls are so more advanced now. Like instead of just like skating on rollerblades and maybe grinding on some rails, right? Like you have like you can punch and kick. You can like jump and boost and glide, and there's all of these combat and crazy. I can execute the moves. You can manual in this game, so like on a bike you're gonna wheelie, or you're gonna manual on a skateboard, or do this weird grindy thing on the rollerblades. But I'm saying this to say is you can keep a chain going all throughout the city, and there's a lot of like different missions based around that too. And I'm getting incredible like just scores, and I'm having such a blast. But it feels, you know, it feels a lot like that game we were playing, Rollerdrome, like in Control. It feels that tight. I'm telling you, it's I'm so blown away. And I like that game too. You got like these like speed boosts that feel super good. But you switch between the different, like the bike and rollerblade, like I said, but it's all based around music. But it goes on really insane platforming acid trip moments of like there's actually a genuine cool story here. It happens in the very, very beginning. I'm talking the first 30 minutes, but I still wondering if I should spoil it or not because it's such a whoa. So I guess I'm not. It's a lot more adult than what I imagined. Let's just say that.
Gotcha.
There's a really gruesome thing that happens to the main character.
I wouldn't expect
really
that
early on. But it's just a moment here or there, and it's back to being happy-go-lucky again, right? But it is like you have gangs throughout the city that you're trying to basically like dethrone their territories. Yeah, there's a lot of like combating the police because there's a lot of like police corruption that you're trying to get rid of. As on top of that, the other characters in the game are really, really strong supporting characters. There's definitely tons of nods to Jet Set Radio. Some very, very obvious ones, like the main gang, like the main villain things, they're called Futurisms, and it's got like that red background, just like the game cover does, and they do it on purpose. And there's a lot of gigantic references from the previous games you're into them. But I'm shocked if this is a huge evolution for the series. Like when you go back, if you were to play Jet Set Radio Future, I love that game, but it's definitely like hasn't aged super well in terms of like controls and options. It's a little bare bones nowadays. At the time, it was mind blowing, sure, but now we're modern again. You know, there's so many options at your disposal. The gameplay to this, and
I love that.
I'm floored. I love this game.
I'm glad you like it as much as I know you were excited, so I'm glad it turned out as well as you hoped.
Yeah. I was definitely worried because it's the same guy doing the music, and I was like, ooh, they even got him. And I'm telling you, like that soundtrack though alone is like every few months I'll just be in this kick where I'll play it for like weeks, and I'm so happy that this soundtrack lives up to that. But it's now with modern music, right? Because now that game's like 20 years old. Music has evolved since then. And they definitely caught back up with the times with the soundtrack with this. There's a lot of really, really good hip-hop tracks in the game that I really like. So I'm super thrilled with it. And I recommend anybody play it however you can. It's on Switch and PC only. But yeah, I mean, perfect Steam Deck game, perfect Switch game. $40 I thought was real steep, but after playing it, I'm like, oh hell no! Like, there's actually full-on big cities to explore. It wasn't like that in the past games, so I love this game.
That's awesome. Before we wrap this up here, I want to send you a screenshot of my benchmark that I just did for Cyberpunk. Like in the background, I had it running a benchmark. So it's been a long time since I played Cyberpunk. I now have a 3080 Ti. And it ended up being an average of 61 FPS, but everything is cranked to the max, and you know how demanding this game is.
Yeah. If you can get 60 with everything max, that's really good, actually. Great.
Yeah, so I'm excited for... I saw that there was the path tracing or something, but I can only do that with... Oh, yeah, this last setting, path tracing, I can only do that with a 4070 or 3090. 4070 or higher, or 3090 or higher. Yeah. So I can't do that, but I'm excited because I played this game on my PC and it looked fantastic. It looked really good. So now to play it with the ray tracing turned up all the way, man, it's gonna be awesome.
Yep. I can play like ultra settings, no ray tracing. I can get about like 100. I'm kind of just bent on that high frame rate kick. You know, I'll lower some stuff, and I'd rather just play at 120.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see how I feel when I play this game. Being a first-person shooter, but not a multiplayer game, maybe 60 would be okay. I have no idea.
Well, yeah, because there is a lot of just times where you're just wanting to just look around the city and just sort of capture everything in the moment. It's not necessarily like, yeah, there's awesome combat moments, right? And that frame rate's going to be awesome when you're like blasting your shotgun, shooting tons of people, right? That's really good. But there's also so many moments where you just want to like stare at the water puddle on the cement or something, you know? You're just like, wow. Yeah, so I get it. Or walking in a club and it just looking incredible. Like there's a lot of give and take there. So
sure. But yeah, man, I think that's about all I got for this week.
All right, let's get a new game watch and we'll be out of here. Blasphemous 2.
Very exciting. I'm really considering downloading that as soon as I get off with you on my Steam Deck.
August 24th for Blasphemous 2. Unpacking coming to iOS and Android August 24th. I still recommend that game. Good, really cool, very like a lot deeper than what you would imagine. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon.
Definitely getting that one.
PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC August 25th. Yeah, I guess. See, here's the thing. I'm more looking forward to Sea of Stars because I played that demo, and this looks like to be one of, it could be potentially be the best pixel art JRPG to release. It was so good. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna be really having a really. I mean, I want both, but yeah, and I'm already playing all this stuff now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be.
I remember in the past, like, oh, all these games are coming out, I don't know what to pick. But in this scenario, it's like, dude, we're actually getting the best of the best we've ever seen in gaming, all just piling in at once. And I'm like, dude, I legit don't know what I'm supposed to do. How am I supposed to, like, stop playing the best RPG I've played of Baldur's Gate? Like, come on, like, please.
I cannot keep up, dude. I missed Pikmin 4 already. I might be missing freaking Sea of Stars.
I'm still playing Pikmin
like,
4.
God.
I didn't want to mention it because it's just, same thing every week of, like, not the game. I just mean, like, I don't want to keep bringing it up. I don't know what more to say other than, oh my God, it's great. I love it. Because it is.
Yeah. Yep, you definitely got that across already, so.
Yeah. But anyway, goodbye, Volcano High. Oh, that furry game, August 29th.
Long time coming, huh? Yeah.
Sambo de Amigo Party Central. See, I want this genuinely. August 29th.
I remember seeing that one.
That's that Sega. It was on Dreamcast, later released GameCube. Really cool little game there. Sea of Stars, all platforms, August 29th. Under the Waves. Under the Waves, that's already coming. Is that the game? I think it is.
Is that
I think so.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of with the...
It's that Quantum Dream game.
Yes, yep.
I wanted to play this really badly. I didn't know it was this soon. That's what I'm saying. What? Come on, guys.
Stop dropping all these games on us, man. We can't keep up.
No. Whatever. I know I don't have to keep up. I'll play whatever at any point. But, like, it's going to be sitting there in the back of my mind now as I'm playing all this other awesome stuff. But whatever. It is what it is. All right. You got anything more to add? Oh, I mean...
That's it for now, man.
Incredible week. Armored Core 6. Samba de Amigo, Sea of Stars. Blasphemous 2, Under the Waves.
If we record on Tuesday next week, then I'll have had... Does Armored Core come out on the 28th or the 25th? I can't remember.
25th.
Oh, shoot. So this week.
Yeah, Friday, dude.
Yeah. No, that's it, man. I can't wait. I'm pumped. Yep.
Weekend, just Armored Core weekend, dude.
Yeah, man. That's all I got. So we'll see.
The next From Software game. You just gonna wait on that? That's what I'm saying. What am I supposed to do? I mean, come on.
Oh, no. I'm definitely grabbing it. I have to.
All right.
All right, guys.
Bye.